Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this April Fool's Day. And we are not fools here, but it is the first Saturday in April. And normally we would have the Darrell and Darrell show, Brother Darrell and Brother Darrell, but we got half of it. And
got half of the Darrell.
Half of the Darrell, and that's Dave Gabbert is joining us this morning. Yeah. And Dave's up at Kentucky Lake.
I'm up at Land Between the Lakes.
Land Between the Lakes. Beautiful place right this time.
Yeah.
Everything's blooming and have you seen any turkeys? I
actually have seen some turkeys.
Well, they're out now. Are the dogwoods blooming?
The dogwood's starting to bloom. The redbuds are out. So we just kind of, back earlier in the week, kind of finished up what I call, the old timers called the redbud winter.
Yeah, we did. That's right.
It was some chilly days.
Yeah. But you're up.
And now the dogwoods are blooming, so I'm expecting the dogwood winter.
And then we
got blackberry winter.
Oh, well, the other half is not here. That's our good friend Gene Smith. He's under the weather today, and we hope he feels better. So the pun master will not be with us, but the fun master, we can say that. We can say the fun master, Dave, is here, and one of my favorite places to visit for many, many years is Land Between the Lakes. It's kind of a unique place. They moved all those people out of there. I don't remember when all this happened, but I know there was families that go back forever, and the old homesteads up there. And, of course, I have, in the old days, I've got drawn for some turkey hunts at LBL back in the old days. And, of course, it's kind of funny because Dave's at LBL, and at the end of the show, in the next to last segment, we're going to talk to Brad Miller. He is the TWR Elk Program Coordinator, and there are some elk at LBL, but there was going to be a lot of elk at LBL originally, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Going back, because I know the first elk were brought in here from Canada and things like that, but there's so much to see in that narrow strip of land. It's called LBL. So where did you guys camp at?
They've got some of the areas shut down, but they've got, talking to some of the crews, they've brought crews in from all over the country, because, LBL originally started as TVA.
That's right.
And,
yeah.
And then it was deeded over to the U.S. Forest Service, more or less, Department of Interior.
Right.
And, but they've been burning, some controlled burns, and they brought some specialized crews in the other day because they're an interesting historical place they call the home place.
Yes, right, yeah.
Across from the southern buffalo pen, and the kids or the grandkids went over the other day, touring around, and they were bringing crews in, and in fact, it opens back up. They shut it down yesterday and Thursday. They were doing a control burn in there.
Oh,
so
okay.
They had to have some specialized crews in that had the experience of burning around structures.
Ah, okay. Well, a lot of people.
Sure, but
a lot of people may not know what you say when you say control burn. Folks, they say, "Well, what does that mean?" Well,
control burns is when we do it on a lot of the agency does a lot of it on WBAs and stuff. It's going in every so many years and burning. You set fires intentionally.
Yeah.
To burn off the vegetation. Some of it maybe some noxious stuff that's come up, or burn the excess fuel up. If a fire does break out, it's not as bad, but it rejuvenates the landscape.
It does,
more or less.
Yeah. We know that a lot of wildfires out west, when they burn out, you think, well, that's gone, but that's just part of the process. To bring back new life and invigorate things. Of course, now there's so many people living in areas where they used to do all that, but But the plug on LBL, folks, is it's not that far away from here, and there's a lot to see. Besides, he mentioned the buffalo and things along that line.
Yeah. If you want to see some, they've got what's called the elk and bison prairie, which is you drive through, and my crew was over there the other day. And
yeah.
They said the elk were everywhere, and the bulls were starting to put racks back on. They start putting their racks back on earlier than deer do.
Yes, they do. Yes, yeah.
And they were close to the roads, and of course the bison were everywhere.
Bisons are everywhere. Yeah, and it's just it is part of the West Tennessee culture between the Tennessee River, Lake Barkley, and Kentucky Lake, all up in that area right there. I can't remember how long it is, but it's a very unique place to visit, and that's where Dave is right now. And then, like I said, Gene Smith is out, and let me tell you what we're going to have on, and Dave's going to be able to stay with us through a couple of segments. On the next segment, get ready, because our friend Dr. Jimmy Tidmore out of the Huntsville area, North Alabama, from Hampton Cove, Alabama, has written another book for youth. It's called Hide and Seek. It's part of his Hunt Club Kids book series, and we're going to talk with Jimmy about that, and then we're going to get our monthly tourism report from our good friend Marty Marbury of West Tennessee Tourism. She's already got her dancing shoes on. And then we're going to talk to a wildlife officer, Dave, that in Arkansas, that not only does her duty as 5 years as a wildlife officer, but she was recently named the first National Wildlife Federation's Officer of the Year for not only Arkansas, but Tennessee, the first female to ever do that. And that's Audrey Hunter. And like I said, we're going to talk to Brad Miller and complain to him again. I didn't get drawn for one of the elk hunts, but that's all right. I hadn't got drawn yet. And then at the close of the show, down at the bottom, we're going to talk again to our Little Red River friends over at Lindsay's Resort. But this is, we're getting close. Next weekend is the Young Sportsman's turkey hunt. And
right.
We're 2 weeks behind, and we'll talk next week. Is our turkey hunting show. Roger Shields from the TWRA Turkey Program Coordinator is going to be on to talk about why we're going back 2 weeks later and some other things and we're going to have a ton of great guests to talk turkey on next week's show. But this is that time of the year. A lot of people are out scouting, going on. Mississippi's already been going on. They always start in March, always start early in March. But we're going to lean in with Dave being at Kentucky Lake, Gene Smith being ill this morning. But we've got a lot of great shows planned for April. And it's just hard to, Dave, I know I've been through a lot. I got a good report from my physical last week. Then I got a good report from my surgeon on my gallbladder. He said it was bad. I did have stones. It was time to get it out. So it just seems like it's just going so fast,
Yeah.
Maybe not for you because you're such a young guy and all those kind of things. I mean, you stay so busy for a man that's been retired, but it just seems like, we just talked a couple of weeks ago. And here we are back on First Saturday. So and
it's April already.
It's April already, which storms. It's not one of my. I love spring. My pollen and all that doesn't love me, but at the same time, it's a beautiful time. And you've been in Florida. You've been up to Alabama.
April kicks off my shooting season. So
it does. I forgot about that. Yeah.
In fact. Today, the first Saturday, somebody interested in talking, learning, watching trap shooting, learning about it down at Henderson today.
Okay.
I won't be able to make it, but be the first registered shoot for the year.
All right.
Down at the Henderson Gun Club, south of Jackson. So, if we got any listeners around the Jackson area that's interested,
and over to Henderson,
just head on to Henderson, and there's a lot of friendly folks down there. They'll tell you everything you ever wanted to know, and we're afraid to ask.
And this, of course, today from 10 to 2 up at Munford is the TWRA Deer Rally going on up at Munford. Yeah, that at Haydad's department store up there, and Jake Yost and his son Luke were on last week's show, and they're going to have no telling how many people coming up there with their deer to get them scored, and a lot of TWRA people will be up there for that. And I heard that the Atoka Barbecue Festival is going on today, so there's going to be a lot of traffic on Highway 51. So you folks, if you're heading up to Munford for the deer rally, just be prepared that you're going to run into some traffic. But we're going to have a lot of fun on today's show. Shelby McCall is here, keeping me straight, if that's possible. Dave Gabbert will be on with us on the next segment, and I want Dave, because I will get Dave a copy of one of these books for his grandkids to read and know more about the outdoors. So we're going to take our first break of the morning, see if we can get Dr. Jimmy Tidmore of Hampton Cove, Alabama, on Outdoors with Larry Ray.